All right, guys. Well, we're about to jump to game number 3, and we see the map is Sand-Shorn Mists. Or I know you know so much about these maps. So I'll let you go ahead and dissect what what,
Thank you,
what
sir.
strategies you think we're gonna see.
Well, I'm a little bit worried for Jinro, to be perfectly honest, because he's just so enamored of mech. And while you can make mech work on this map, I think this is probably one of the most infantry favored maps in the map pool in terms of TBT, infantry versus mech. It's really, really wide open. So there's
Yes.
not like just these small choke points that you're going to punish your opponent where they can't engage into siege tanks. They can get flanks from all sides. They can spread out their army amazingly well. And on top of that, there's an immense amount of airspace on this map. So drops are really hard to deal with. It's hard to have perfect turret rings on this map. There's so much empty space and so many attack paths to watch for counterattacks and things like that. That it's just really hard to play mech on this map. So I'm definitely expecting, since Top is a little bit more of a dynamic player, I'm expecting him to go back to trying infantry again on this map, whereas Jinro will go mech. And I could absolutely be wrong, but if that's the case, we'll just get to see that kind of dichotomy yet again and see if Jinro is able to pull off what he was able to do on Ohana. I think the
Hmm.
most critical difference between those two maps, and one of the reasons why it would be so much harder for Jinro, is look at how much harder the third is to defend. On
Yeah.
Ohana, he could take that third, he could just leave his siege tanks between his natural and his third, and there's basically nowhere Top could attack.
Hmm.
On this map, you have to exit your natural down a ramp, go up into your third, which has two entrances into it. It's just way, way harder to defend with mech. You're going to need planetaries everywhere. So I don't know. We'll see if General can pull it off, but I'm just saying right now, I think infantry is better on this map, and it's one of the few maps where I would say that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. Like, the three bases are so spread out, and there's a lot of airspace on top of that. So I could see Bio, if used correctly, being very effective versus Mech on this map. And you said it, man. Like, all the potential counterattack paths. There's so many different areas. Like, so many paths you can choose to go down on this map. I can count like 6 right now. Just a quick little count, but it should be a challenge should Jinro decide to go for mech. But if anyone loves a challenge, it is Jinro as we transition into the game on Sand-Shorn Mist. In the middle left-hand location, we have the yellow Terran player Jinro representing Team Liquid against Top from OGS in the middle right-hand location. And what do you think about the element of the Liquid OGS thing? Do you think these guys have practiced in the past, and do you think that maybe that has an impact on this game?
I actually hadn't even thought about that. I had totally forgotten. I really gotta wonder that. I don't know exactly how much like General practices with the OGS guys, and I don't know. I think certain guys, whenever those teams have partnerships, it's usually like there are certain guys on the team that are, more open to like practicing with the foreigners and
Right.
training with them and everything, and other players just kind of like to keep to themselves and stuff or practice just with the Koreans. So. I don't know, man. That's really interesting, though. It could absolutely have a great effect on how these guys choose to play. I think Top certainly showed in both games that he understands that Jinro likes to play mech a lot and likes to play that defensive style. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
A gas first from both players. So Top is going to try to shake things up here with a really early factory of his own. Perhaps given the fact that the natural is so easy to defend on this map with that 2 force field sized ramp, maybe he's trying to metagame his opponent and think that Jinro would go for a really quick expansion on this map like he did on
Ooh.
Ohana with the same type of layout. But instead, they're actually both going for the really quick factory, so this should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it looks like Jinro's barracks coming out a little bit before his opponent, but not too big of a deal there. And again, I wonder, like you said it, the natural expansion, it's not terribly hard to take. There's that ramp leading right up to it. But that being said, these early gases imply a lot of investment into early tech, which means we could possibly see a lot of like a one-on-one type play here. So I'm wondering if these players are going to do that, going to go for the quick Banshees, quick Vikings, or are we going to see a relatively fast command center from either of these players taking advantage of the fact that this natural expansion is so easy to hold?
True that. I really am interested if we're going to see like, Cloak versus
Yeah.
like, Marine Hellion Medevac. Are we going to see like siege tanks against some type of early blue flame build? There's so many different ways you can go with an early factory build, but Juno definitely has a slight advantage in his build order. All of his timings are just ever so slightly ahead of Tops. So that could help him out here. I mean, just a couple seconds, usually not going to make a difference, but you never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes players hit like right as siege mode finishes, and if their opponent's siege mode is a couple seconds away, that can be pretty hard to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, StarCraft 2, a game of seconds sometimes, like, you could be about to hit Cloak on your Banshee, and then your opponent would, like, put down a Mule, and they don't have a scan to utilize. So,
Yeah.
anything can happen here. Top adding a reactor, and Jinro's not. So we see our first deviation here. It looks like Top wants to really start pumping up the Marine production. I don't think it's going to be Hellions, considering that factory is so far away from that reactor, and the factory is going to finish significantly before. So probably going to put a tech lab on the factory and add a starport, I would imagine.
It looks like he's just going to go for that Marine Hellion medevac play that I was talking about. Based on that starport positioning, I would have expected to be next to the factory to drop that tech lab. So this is a great build. People do this all the time, and the fact that he went gas first is going to maybe throw off Jinro, because most players that do this build don't do it off a gas first factory. They'll go for a little more of a standard build, barracks into gas, and then go for this build as they take an expansion. So Top really rushing this out quickly. He's going to have a lot of Marines pumping out of a reactor. He's going to have a couple Hellions, usually maybe 3, maybe 4, depending on the timing that he hits with the attack, and that one medevac will be able to drop right into Jinro's base. And we'll have to see what Jinro's going to do to prepare for it. He actually has a starport about to go onto a tech lab, so he's going to be going for Banshees. Will he go for Cloak or not? That's yet to be seen. Doesn't look like it for now. He doesn't have the gas. Actually, no, he's not making a Banshee yet. It looks like he is waiting for that gas to be able to start. Okay, never mind. No, there it is. Banshee starting. So what will Jinro have to be able to deal with this? Just it looks like Marines, Hellions, and a Banshee. I don't know if that'll be enough. It'll be tough with that medevac healing all the Marines of Top.
Neither player adding on a second gas just yet, which is a tad interesting. We saw... I think last game was Jinro added on that second gas, of course, going for that cloak research. But Jinro not electing to do that here, and it looks like Top is going to move out here with all of these Hellions, all of these Marines. Is a medevac on the way? No, 2 Vikings.
Wait, what?
Where's the...
What?
No
He made
medevac.
Vikings instead of medevac. Wow, that's shocking. Did he scout the gas first from Jinro? No.
No, he didn't.
That would have made sense if he had scouted gas
Oh,
first.
he
'cause he'd be
scouted
like,
the
"Oh,
supply
Banshee," but-
depot.
Yeah, that's all he saw, right?
No,
so
it
how does
doesn't-
he...
That doesn't mean anything.
Okay, you're making a joke. I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. That's a bizarre choice to go for the Viking instead of the medevac here. I mean, it'll be great against this Banshee. Marines, in fact, being targeted right now by the Banshee. Viking needs to get into the engagement. There we go. It's actually out in front, taking some damage from those Marines. Hellions from Top doing a lot of damage, but it looks like Jinro's going to be able to hold this pretty easily.
Yeah, there go all the units from Top there.
Wow. Is that like GG? I mean, I mean, Top doesn't have a command center behind this, and Jinro does. He did no damage whatsoever.
Viking gets out of there. I guess that's a sliver of good news, but Jinro's going to try to see how honest Top is being back home, coming out with more Marines and Hellions. And yeah, it looks like Top's just going to try to take that command center, but Jinro definitely in an excellent situation here as a glance at the income tab, even in that regard. But again, Jinro's expansion going to get up well before his opponent. And Hellions taking down these Marines, going to try to target down that SCV, going to delay that command center even more. And Top is definitely not in a good situation here.
Nice target firing by Jinro. Top tried to pull that off by having the Viking. Oh my god, the lifted barracks. Trying to put the factory on, allows the Hellion into the main base, trying to get some SCV kills right now. There is one Marine, and of course that landed Viking, so he'll be able to take out that Hellion, but will he get a kill? Oh my god, it's still alive!
Still alive. Will he get out? No.
But nice scouting information, and Jinro now just knows exactly how far ahead he is, and he should be able to just double produce SCVs, try to get further and further ahead, and just go into his, it looks like he's going to go into his standard mech game, already adding that second factory, so no, he's not going to try to go into infantry or something crazy like that.
Now, do you think he'll try to formulate like some sort of 2-base timing push, or do you think he's just going to just get further ahead and take expansion after expansion?
I think it all depends on how soon he scouts that Top is going for mech as well. Because if he scouts that, if he doesn't know Top's going for mech and he thinks maybe he's going to infantry, then we might see him try to actually go push out Top because, Top will just be so far behind. But if he knows Top's going for mech as well, then it's kind of like, if you're going for mech, I can't really go attack you if you already have siege tanks up. It's just really hard to attack up that ramp on this map. So then we would probably see Jinro take that third, play a little more defensively and try to get further and further ahead, but he certainly could change his mind on that. You can absolutely try to attack into mech players if you have mech yourself. It's just unbelievably difficult to accomplish.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Again, going up this ramp is no fun at all. I guess you could play around with air superiority. General has 4 Vikings on the field, and if you can... It's 4 Vikings, right? Yes, it is. And if you can take away the Vikings from your opponent and try to get some sort of vision advantage and slowly inch your tanks forward, I mean, that could be effective. But Jinro has been playing safe this entire series, so anything can really happen at this point. We see some Hellions wrapping around the bottom side of the map from Top. Not going to be able to get into the natural expansion of Jinro unless he leaves the supply depot down. But at the same time, it looks like Jinro is going to try to do a little bit of aggression here.
And we actually have Top with these 6 Hellions trying to get into Jinro's base, but look at that. A 5 supply depot wall off. Excellent move. Going to be able to prevent those Hellions from doing any damage at all. So well done. Jinro actually trying to take out a... A barracks up top out here in the front. I love the scouting barracks from top. He is going to lose that map control after that goes down. Nice scan goes off. He sees what top has. Top forced to land his Vikings. Has a smaller Viking count, or at least they're too low. And Juno might just try to go attack here. He has such a superior army at this moment.
Hellions
he
trying
might
to
pick
flank.
up his Hellions.
Oh, trying to. The Hellions trying to flank from the back from top. And Jinro, I don't know if he wants to engage here, but Blue Flame is so good. Landing his own Vikings to try to engage, is trying to take on the Hellions on the right-hand side. It's so hard to call right now, but looks like Jinro's just going to have to get out of there. And top getting the better of that engagement.
Yeah, he just had that better position. He came in with the flanks. Yep. Any units that do splash damage, whether they're Hellions, whether they're siege tanks, they really, really benefit from all kind of attacking in the same direction. And his attacks were really split up there since he was attacking up the cliff and at the Hellions on the low ground. So Jinro, unfortunately, unable to get the position he needed. And did lose a bunch of his Hellions. And really what matters are the Vikings. You can lose Hellions, it's not that big of a deal, but if you lose those Vikings,
yeah,
it's so important to maintain that air superiority. You finally see additional factories being added on here from Jinro as he gets prepared to take that third base. His command center is already done, but this might be a little bit of a risk. We see top moving forward for some aggression right now, and Jinro actually doesn't have any siege tanks right now, so it might be a little bit difficult for him to defend. But if he does defend, he's going to be way ahead since top hasn't even started his third command center.
Oh, nice pick off there from Jinro. Top not expecting how many Vikings that Jinro had there, and Jinro able to take out a couple Vikings for free. Top forced to back up for now, doesn't feel confident to engage up that ramp. Honestly, I wouldn't either. So tough to do on this map. Behind this, top siege mode is almost done for him. Finally starting that blue flame upgrade, which is a little bit surprising considering he's had so many Hellions on the field for so long. And the siege mode is not yet started for Jinro.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of made sense for Jinro because he was just really focusing on that Hellion pressure and, got Blue Flame early on himself. But it really, I agree, it did make sense for top to delay Blue Flame that long when he also was going for pure Hellion and delayed his tank so long. But at least he'll be ahead with that siege. I mean, Jinro finally starting double tank production, but he still has not started siege mode. Yeah. I mean, look at his money. He's got plenty. He definitely needs to get that started. I don't know if that's a mistake or if he maybe thinks he already has it or what. But that could really hurt him. There we go. It has finally been started, so that will delay him from being able to push forward maybe if he thinks he has an advantage. But he doesn't necessarily need to anyway, since his third base is already going to be up here. There's actually no reason Jinro would need to attack at all. Just take that third, continue to get further and further ahead. Considering top still hasn't started a command center, I mean, maybe we'll see him start one and prove me wrong, but it's starting to look like top's just going to be forced into a bit of a two-base all-in, and it's just going to be up to Jinro to defend efficiently as opposed to trying to go kill top.
Top coming out to the middle of the map here needs to not overextend. Siege up your tanks. Top not sieging up his tanks just yet.
Oh, no.
And Jinro is going to back away. Doesn't feel confident in engaging that. There's no Vikings here, and Jinro has a lot of supply worth of Vikings. But I guess the ground army straight up top would be better at this point in time. Putting down a scan, trying to see the unit composition of its opponent. Behind this, Jinro is putting down a third. And top is going along the right-hand side of the map. Is he going to try to be aggressive here?
He has to be careful, man. That last engagement, he didn't have Blue Flame. It was like 15 seconds away when he was engaging Hellion on Hellion. I like that he's faking, though. He kills off the barracks, makes it look like he's attacking down at the bottom, and then goes right back to the middle. Jinro forced to go defend his third in case top is actually going there. Doesn't have the extra orbitals to be able to just drop tons of scans right now. So just a really nice fake move by top to get the center of the map. That center control is so important. And Jinro, he's got to get into a good position here. He needs a great siege positioning. If top can get the better position and just get sieged up before Jinro, this could be really, really pivotal. But Jinro might catch some of these siege tanks. They're unsieged. The Hellions are going to catch them right now. And what is top going to do? Is he just going to siege right here? Is he going to try to engage? He has the lower Viking count, so he's forced to land. And Jinro's doing an excellent job just delaying the attack. That's exactly what he needs to do. Delay as long as possible while he gets more and more benefit from that third base.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And is the third command center on the field for top? I'm afraid to look because an engagement might happen any second, but I don't see it on the minimap. So top investing a lot into this two-base aggression, landing every single one of his Vikings, not wanting to deal with Jinro's just supreme air advantage that he has. And Jinro, now he can have all the vision he wants. And it looks like he's going to engage here, sieging up all of his tanks. Top sieging up his tanks as well. It's hard to tell. Finally, Vikings landing for Jinro on top of the tanks. Brilliant move there from Jinro, but is it going to be enough?
Oh, he's target firing down the tanks. Such a nice move, and Jinro looks like he has a huge advantage. All of his siege tanks still alive. Top has lost every single one now. Well, yeah, there we go. The last one does die. Vikings, I mean, yeah, top has the Viking advantage. Jinro sacked his Vikings to do that, but he sacked Vikings for tanks. He still has all of his tanks alive. Top has Vikings, and Vikings are good if you have tanks for getting that air superiority. If you don't have tanks, what are the Vikings going to do for you? Like, nothing. So, Jinro just taking a decisive advantage with that engagement.
I like this from top, positioning his Vikings over the starports, so if Jinro makes any additional Vikings, they'll die very fast unless he lands them So pretty cool play there. But General up 136 and 96 supply, checking on the status of his opponent's third. Sees it's not there, and he's got to be happy to see that, considering his third is well and good back home.
Yeah, I really do love the play above the starport. It makes me wish like there was an option in the game to make Vikings just come out on the ground or something out of that starport, man. But there's no option
for that. It's the worst feeling in the world as a Viking. You're getting trained, ready to go into combat. You come out of that starport, and then you die in a second.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I can't wait. I'm going to go do some air battles. It's going to be like Top Gun. It's going to be sick. We're going to be in the danger zone. And then he just comes out right into the danger zone before he can even get some training and dies immediately. We see some aliens, though, coming from top, maybe into General's danger zone down here. And all the SCVs might get roasted here. He doesn't have any defenses in position. These are all going to die for sure. General just actually out in the middle of the map with his army, not trying to move back to defend against those Hellions, not even sending his Hellions back home. There we go. Finally sending those back to defend. I mean, if you're not going to go attack your opponent, you should probably, defend with those or something.
Probably.
But, probably, I don't know. But 7 workers killed, not actually that bad. So General's still ahead, 59 harvesters to 56. And keep in mind, he has that third base. And Top's third command center is just completed. He still doesn't even have it as an orbital. And he's just floating it over right now. So this is just looking better and better for General.
Yeah, Top trying to do what he can, counterattacking with the Hellions, trying to go after the economy of his opponent. But these 3 Hellions are going to get taken out quite quickly by 2 Thors and a slew of Hellions from Genro. Some SCVs being transferred as well. Genro pushing himself further and further ahead, up 154 to 130 right now in the supply count. And when do you think Genro is going to try to engage his opponent?
When he's 200. I don't know, man. It's tough to say. He really doesn't have like an upgrade time he can hit. Top's actually slightly ahead on his +2 timing, so you just gotta be careful with that. He only has 1-0. Top also 1-0, so neither one of them got armor before that. He's got to wait and make sure he's got the Viking advantage, or at least enough Thors to be able to secure the Viking advantage during a battle. He does have the tank advantage, but only slightly. And actually, Top just pulled slightly ahead in the tank count right now. So General really his big supply lead right now. A lot of it is coming from all those Hellions he has. Which they're okay, but they don't really help such a huge amount in mech versus mech and actual engagements. They really buffer for your tanks.
And
so he really needs to.
3 Hellions in the natural General right now, frying away so many SCVs. Didn't raise those supply depots in the main too.
Yeah, he dropped in the main.
No.
4 Hellions in the main. General losing his entire economy right now. The workers kill tab has skyrocketed up to 33 right now. Oh, General might be forced into a bit of like an all-in attack. He's moving forward, but his tanks. No, what is he doing? He's moving his tanks forward without his Hellion support, just on their own in the middle of the map. He does pull back. Hellion's going into the third though, and this might be exactly what he needs. Counterattack to pick off all the SCVs up top and pull himself back into the lead economically.
God, he lost so much economy there, and the Hellions still alive, tracking down any remaining SCVs. They're shivering their boots, trying to find a place to hide. But oh my God, all he has left are those SCVs at his third, and Top's got to be happy with how that went. To be completely honest,
I mean, look at the income tab. It's disgusting.
Ugh, I'm disgusted. Actually, General's a little bit ahead. I'm confused.
What? All of his SCVs transferring. Oh, well, I guess he's long distance mining. His main's mined out. His natural's oversaturated. So Top had to lift his third, so he missed a lot of mining time. That's why he was like transferring. But as soon as those SCVs actually start mining at the third again, General's going to be in some trouble. It's not like he has a billion extra orbitals to drop a lot of mules or something. Being at half the harvesters as your opponent is pretty rough. But keep in mind, they're also pretty much even on food. So the fact that he's down 20 harvesters means that his army is that much stronger. He's about up on 10 supply in his army. So maybe he can make something happen here. But as you know, attacking into a defensive siege tank line, pretty hard to do. He's taking the air superiority, but he's taking some damage from... Oh, nice landing on the Vikings coming in on all these siege tanks before +3 can finish for Top. General just busting his way in here, but there are so many siege tanks to the northwest of Top. I don't know if this will be enough.
No, it's not. And some mules being landed for General, conceding defeat. Down 131 to 62 supply. It was well fought, but General's going to throw down the GG, and Top is going to take the game as I transition back to our camera. The camera.
Got it.
There it is. So General fought, man, but Top taking the 2-1. Pretty nice play from Top, especially considering he was down 1-0 to start that series.
I think that game kind of signifies how difficult it is to play mech and why it's so important to do the little subtleties that are sometimes overlooked when spectating a game. Things like those turret rings, man. Letting 4 Hellions drop in your main base, not having any defenses in position, having to run all your Hellions back from the center of the map. It's basically one of those situations where, I mean, center control is important, but I feel like I almost even oversold it earlier when I was talking about that. On a map like Antigua Shipyard, center control is just absolutely like the most important thing in the world. On a map like Saints Row Mist, there's so many counterattack paths, and the center is actually on low ground that it's not as important to just leave your entire army sitting there. You really only want your army there if you're getting ready to attack. Otherwise, you probably want to actually, have your army back at home to defend. So General just had his whole army just kind of sitting in the center of the map. Top saw this, and he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to take advantage of this. Drop 4 Hellions in your main, run 3 Hellions around into your natural, kill like every single SCV. And even though Top had actually been behind all game long until that point, killing that many SCVs is something that's almost impossible to come back from. So
yeah, I mean, Top doing exactly what he had to do. He started with the harassment on the third base of General, swinging the Hellions into there. General brought two Thors, a tank over there to try to defend that, and then he forgot to lift up his supply depots in his natural expansion, so 3 Hellions able to get by and just completely roast away the natural expansion SCVs, and then in the main base able to get a medevac in there to kill all the SCVs there. And gosh, if he just plays a little bit more defensively, but again, on that map it's so spread out, so hard to defend against all that. I mean, you have to have a turret basically around your entire main base to prevent the medevacs from getting in. So just Top playing the map well and doing exactly what he had to do to get back into this game, into that game, and ultimately take the series.
yeah, and I think a lot of it also came back to the fact that remember how many Vikings he killed of Jinro. So Jinro couldn't afford to just like leave Vikings patrolling around watching for drops like that. So just nice plays all around by Top. An excellent way to get back into a game that seemed like it should have been lost for him. Such nice play, especially starting the series down 0-1. Just make that comeback. Really well done. Unfortunately, sad day for Jinro and Liquid fans. But Top played really well. So those were some fun games to watch, man.
Yeah, and we're going to go to a quick commercial break and then be back with the next series. Don't go anywhere. This is the Korean Weekly Season 3, Week 1, Day 1. My name is Axel, joined by Orb, and we'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere.